tell everyone your name and where you're from.
Sure. What's good, everybody? My name is ILLEY Bishop. That's ILLEY Bishop. And I'm actually born in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. And I moved to Managua, Nicaragua when I was 7. And I moved to the United States in 2010. I was 20 years old. Now I'm living in Atlanta, 26. Still going strong, still doing my thing, and just trying to make something happen with my music.
So you moved to Atlanta when you were 10?
No. I moved in 2010.
In 2010.
Yeah, I moved to Atlanta like a year ago. Because when I first moved out here, I actually moved to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there for school, and I went there just to kind of hone into my craft. Because, I figured, I could be like a top dog where I'm from, but that's not really what I want to do. I want to be the top dog in like the world. So I said, hey, I need to go to the United States, and I need to make it happen there. And while I was working out there, I was like, you know what? I need to take it up a notch. So I just figured that Atlanta is like the next step for me. So.
And you just moved here last year?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so why, what were you doing in Orlando? You said to hone in on your craft?
Right, so basically what I was doing, aside from school, was just kind of like working on with other artists, working in studios and that kind of deal, just kind of learning the business side of things, which is actually something extremely important, which I recommend everybody to learn, is the business side of the music industry, because it's not all just like, oh, I make a song, I put it on iTunes, I get the money, I get the checks, cool. No, there's like way more that goes involved in that, and I wanted to be as much immersed as possible. And so I was working with like network conferences, with like other events and stuff like that, working within studios, not just as an engineer, as a producer, but also as kind of like their marketing team and that kind of deal. And just to really understand what it is what the music industry is as a whole.
So you just wanted to know every part of music.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that when I put out some music, or when my artist puts out music, that we're getting paid and that we know our rights and that we're not just going to get, taken advantage of.
True.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
Yeah, it happens a lot, so.
So when did you realize that you wanted to start doing music? When you back home, or when you came to the United States?
Nah, back home. I remember it's a very fond memory. I might have been like 5 or 6, and I think it was like a family outing. We all went to this restaurant, and they have how they have like the bands playing, they're playing
mm-hmm.
music and stuff like that. So I just kind of went up to them. And I told them, hey, do you know how to play Feliz Navidad from Jose Feliciano? And they're like, yeah, we can do it. I'm like, all right. So they started playing it, and I'm just like a little kid, and like, mind you, like there wasn't like an open mic. I literally just went on stage and asked if they could do it, and I just started singing Feliz Navidad. And the crowd was like, yo, that's amazing. And then like my family was like, wow, Jesse, you really know how to do your thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like my calling. And every time I heard like music, I would just get really enthralled, and I was like, oh man, I really love music, and I started to make my own lyrics and that kind of stuff, and then I started, I was raised with like listening to reggae music and a lot of salsa music, a lot of merengue, Latin music, and that kind of deal. But as I grew a little bit older, maybe between like 8 or 9, I started to incorporate a little bit more with hip hop, because I started listening to like Jay-Z and started listening to Kanye. Mm-hmm. And mind you, back home, they don't really play hip hop like that. It's mostly like reggaeton and that kind of deal. And I like reggaeton a lot. But I also know English, you know what I'm saying? You can do English reggaeton and stuff like that, but I was more gravitating towards the hip hop side of things. So I'm like, yeah, I like this. And then I just started to really do digital crate digging, you know what I'm saying? Like go on LimeWire and go on the internet, just like downloading all these songs and stuff like that. And that's when I really felt immersed, like, wow, I actually need to make music. And mind you, the person who really, or I guess the influence I really have is actually here in Atlanta. It was Ludacris.
Okay.
I heard Luda. I'm like, yo, this is who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I want to rap like him. I want his beats. I want to make beats just like him. On top of that, when I heard Lil Jon's Get Low, that got really big in my hometown. And I'm like, I need to make beats. I need to make this now. You know what I mean? And that's what really made me want to pursue music after that.
So what, in your opinion, is the difference from being like a producer and a beat maker?
Well, I feel like there's like a big gap that it might not be seen like just right off the bat. You know what I mean? Because both of the times it's like, yeah, you're there from the start to the beginning. You're creating the sounds and stuff like that. But being a producer is more than just like, oh, I'm just gonna sequence some drums and put the melodies on and that's it. Mm-hmm. Being a producer is almost being like a coach. Like you're rallying the entire structure of the sonic, I guess landscape that you're trying to create. You're getting the artist, you're coaching the artist. Hey, you need to do this. You're getting with other musicians. I want these kinds of melodies. You're kind of shaping basically the career of the artist or the life of the song While a beat maker is really just in there to like, okay, I'm gonna just lay down some drums. I have a little sequence out there, and I'm just shooting this off to many people. Not to say that producers don't do that, or that there's no merit of what a beat maker does, but a producer really is way more involved in the process of creating rather than just I'm just gonna make some stuff and hopefully it hits. You know what I mean?
Well, how did you hear about the Type 32?
Well, one cool thing about me is that I'm very active on social media. And so I need to commend you guys and congratulate you guys for being really on point with y'all social media. It's amazing. That's how I figured this out. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, Patchwerk. Yeah, this is a cool place to go to because you guys do so much stuff. And then I saw Type 32, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it's like, oh, with the rappers, and then you can be a feature producer. I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to go to. So I started liking y'all's images and stuff like that. And then I met with Trez at an iStandard event. It was actually an iStandard beat showcase last year in Atlanta. I want to say like in September, and he was telling me like, yeah, man, you need to come through. You need to submit your beats and that kind of deal. And then Jade, she reinforced that idea because I came into Patchwerk in an open house, and she's like, yo, you definitely need to submit your music. And I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about it. I got to do it. And then finally just pulled the trigger and I did it. And now I'm here.
Yeah. Made that move, and now.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about making moves, That's like that's the bottom line. If you don't get anything out of this interview, just make moves. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Also, tell us your social media where they can find you on Instagram, Twitter,
absolutely,
Periscope if you have one.
Yeah, so everything is ILLEY Bishop, ILLEY BISHOP. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on SoundCloud, you can find me on Instagram. And you're going to soon find me on YouTube, and very soon, ILLEYBishop.com. My name is ILLEY Bishop, and I do music.
Sonically superior.